It's Hollie's Hotspurs back with another one. Chatting all things Tottenham, we're second to none. Special guests every time, if it's win, lose or draw. The passion is high like Harry Kane when he scores. Or when Lloris makes a world-class save. We got Højbjerg running the mid every game. Settle down, stick around, share your thoughts with the panel. And make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Coys.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Hollie Hotspurs Live. Actually, the first one of 2022, which is a bit crazy, but I'm glad to have these two lovely guests on with me. And tonight we've actually got two games to kind of dissect, but we'll leave the midweek fixture till later on because I'm not feeling that vibe at the minute. But joining me tonight, I am joined by none other than Stel from Tottenham Away. Stel, how are you this evening?
Hollie, trust the process. Arsenal are back. The highlight of their season was losing to Man City because that's progress. I'm a very happy guy. Up the Arsenal.
I love it. I love that you came in with that intro. That's fabulous. I was going to say I forgot about it, but I really didn't. But I knew you'd pipe it up straight away. So thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm also joined by Luke. Luke, how are you this evening?
Yeah, really good. Happy New Year to everyone. And thanks for having me on, Hollie. I'm really good.
No worries. No, it's good. Like I say, it's the first one of the year as well. So what a way to kick off 2022 with you guys. So I'm very pleased to have you both. And with me tonight, we're obviously going to be talking about that Morecambe game first, which I must say, I was kind of glad I was driving on my way home and I kind of missed the fiasco that kind of happened in the first half. So Stel, I'll come to you first. I know, and I witnessed when I heard on the radio, we weren't really doing a lot with the ball, were we, the first half?
I don't really think we do a lot with the ball in most games, to be honest with you. It's one of the things I've been criticising Spurs with since Poch left, really, and even now under Conte. I don't watch us and I think, oh wow, this is amazing. I'm loving this. But we're playing Morecambe. We should be winning like 5-0 quite comfortably, and we're 1-0 down with 15 minutes to go. It's worrying, isn't it? We had to bring on the big guns to save us, and they did. Couple of performances, maybe resignation worthy. Couple of performances where we still don't know much, and one or two performances where we think, yeah, that's what we expect. So I never ever felt that we were in trouble, though, if that makes sense, Hollie. I never thought, oh, Morecambe are dominating us. Cody Matt, big up. And I never felt that, that we wouldn't get back in the game. I never felt we're going to lose this. I didn't have that cringe feeling of, oh no. So in that sense, I felt, yeah, we're going to win this. And even at 1-0 down, I knew we would at least minimum get a draw. But in terms of the way we played, yeah, leaves much to be desired, doesn't it?
It really does. And I think the thing is, I never was really worried, but you're thinking these players that are on the pitch play at Premier League level and they're still not managing to do the business, if that makes sense, especially against Morecambe. That's the thing that really baffled me. I mean, look, for the first goal that Morecambe scored, it was just another defensive error. I just don't understand. It was just a lack of communication at the back once again from that corner. Yeah,
I think again, and I don't want to slate him, but I think Japhet Tanganga didn't, show himself in the best of lights again. It's a bit unfortunate for him. Just miscommunication. I think that whenever we play with that, and I'm not going to criticise the defence too much, okay? Because we all know we need better defence. When it comes to the midfield and attacking line, I think every time they play together, the likes of Ali, Lo Celso, and Ndombele, whenever that group of players get together, it never ever gels and it never ever clicks. We go back all the way to Enes Mura at home. We had to bring on, I don't really like that saying, but as Stel said, the big guns. Everybody should be a big gun in reality, playing for Tottenham Hotspur. But sadly, a lot of them aren't. And I think, do you know what? I'll give some respect to Morecambe. They came out and they played well, and they were tight defensively. They probably had done some homework and realised that we can't break down low block teams because we're not quick enough. We're not quick enough with the ball in transition into attack. And we just tend to mess about with the ball at the edge of the box. And playing Dele as a striker or false nine or whatever you want to call it, it never ever works. And I'm not going to sit here and back him up, but throw him under the bus. Same though. If we played Dave Scarlett, you'd throw him under the bus because he never gets the performance he should do with players like that in the midfield. So it was worrying for Spurs. But I agree with you two. I never ever thought we would lose. But with 15 minutes to go, I was thinking, at one point I thought that Conte wasn't going to make any subs. I thought that this was going to be a statement. I actually tweeted it and then we made a sub. So I deleted it very quickly. But I thought this was going to be a statement to the board and just play the game out with the players that we had and, try it that way. But, in the end, obviously, he brought on Kane and Lucas and they seem to step up. So.
I mean, that's the interesting thing, like you said, because obviously we're talking about the fact that Dele wasn't, and that he isn't a natural striker, and we're playing him in that striker role. And still, it still baffles me that we're still here today without necessarily a backup striker. And I'll come to this with you because obviously we talk all the time about the supreme leader, as Brian would call him. But I just don't understand how we still haven't got a backup striker, even for situations like that. And I think there was something that came out today. I know Twitter isn't gospel, but saying that we're not looking to get a striker or fill a striker role till the summer, if that.
We're going to need 2 strikers if we wait to the summer because Harry Kane's going to force another exit. He's going to try and leave again if we don't get Champions League and if we don't win trophies. So this one striker is going to turn to 2 strikers the way we're going. Look, I don't get it, but then I do get it because this is Daniel Levy and ENIC, and I've always been ENIC and Levy out. I'm on that side of the fence. What more do you want to say? We've got Heung-min's son out for what they're saying is 2 to 3 weeks, which probably means 6 to 8 weeks. Harry Kane's going to have to play every single game. The fact we had to bring him on against Morecambe, and by the way, we shouldn't be surprised by what happened yesterday. Last game of the season when we were good, we went away to Newcastle and lost 5-0 and came third in the 2-horse race. We lost away to Colchester in the cup. We lost away to Mora. We lost away to Dinamo Zagreb and we were 2-0 up. We've always got this result in us whilst we don't build a quality squad. This will always happen to us. So yesterday we got away with it. Your question was about the striker. I'm just going off on one, aren't I? Striker. Yeah. We desperately need another striker. There's one thing every Spurs fan agrees with is that we need a second striker and Doherty needs to be sold. I think they're the 2 things that everyone can agree on, okay? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. This board is walking a very tight line with what they're doing at the moment. If they don't back Conte, they're finished. The fan base are going to turn against them. There won't be a second. There's no more chances. This is it. Every cat has 9 lives. This is the 9th life. You've got to bring in. It's true though, isn't it? Look at the way fans are. A year ago, when we were doing all these YouTubes and podcasts, Hollie, and yourself, Luke, how hard was it to get a real conversation, a proper chat about Levy and Joe Lewis and ENIC? People didn't want to touch it. A few of us were more than happy to do it. Nowadays, everyone talks about it. It's part of talking to them. So they must know that. They're not stupid. To not buy a striker now is suicide. Because if Kane gets injured, we're back to square one. Forget top 4, forget trophies. The only way you get away with it is if you go and buy 2 goal-scoring midfielders, which is what I think is the most important thing at Tottenham. People talk about we need a box-to-box, we need a right winger, we need a creative player, they call it. We need a goal-scoring midfielder. Eriksen always got 7, 8, 9 goals a season. Dele Alli used to do it for us, but he's obviously gone to shit now. We need 1 or 2 midfielders that not only can create opportunities for Son and Kane, but they can strike a ball, they can get in the right place and finish their chances. And if they can add 7 or 8 goals each to the season, that's the difference. So if you don't get a striker, go and get some goal-scoring midfielders. If you're not going to do that, and you're not going to get a striker, then you know what? Bring on a Adama Traore and the wheels will come off.
Oh my word. I mean, Luke, what do you want to kind of add to that? I mean, like Stel said, and actually, funny enough, I remember, months and months ago, Luke, when we were talking about the whole ENIC and Levy thing, and you were kind of like in the middle kind of thing. Are you kind of, is this the transfer window that's, I know we're going on a tangent, but is this kind of the transfer window which will make and break it for you at this moment in time, considering who we've got in at manager at the moment?
Yeah, I think rather than just this transfer window, under Antonio Conte as a whole is the turning point for any fan who was on the fence or the other side of the fence as such. You know, they finally brought in a world-class manager. Now, if they can't back that manager, a manager who's proven to win Premier League titles, who's proven to win titles, outside of England, in Europe as well. If they can't finally back something like that and see what he can do, then I think pretty much everybody would be, not necessarily like everybody would suddenly be like, just sell the club, but Daniel Levy would have to resign. I think. I think it would get to the point where that would just have to happen. Spurs, and it would still be there, but as Daniel Levy as a figurehead, yeah, he would have to resign.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there. I mean, even for people like yourself that are still a bit questioning what they kind of believe in Levy and Enick, I think that is true. I think, like I keep saying to people, because obviously Newcastle have signed, Kevin Tripps. I call him Kevin Tripps, not Kieran Trippier. And obviously the likes of Villa doing business as well. And like Kev says, you're telling me that at the start of the season we had all these problems. We haven't got players lined up ready for January. I just don't understand it, Stel. You really think that we'd really have the gears in motion to get the players in that we seriously need, which was shown against Morecambe?
Yeah, it's an argument I had on We Are Tottenham TV the other day, where I was saying that why do we not have a plan going into January? You knew what you were signing up to when you agreed for Conte to become the manager. You knew he wasn't going to join without being assured of being backed. You knew that this is the kind of guy that will walk out, won't give a damn if you don't back him. He's got a track record of doing it. He's also got a track record of winning trophies if you back him. You knew exactly what you were signing up to. Just like when you signed Jose Mourinho, you knew he was a checkbook manager. If you don't chuck mega money at Mourinho, you know how it ends. Conte is similar, but he's not as toxic in the sense of he's not throwing players under the bus that he knows he doesn't want. He's keeping it calm to keep the camp controlled. Whereas Jose, he'd call out players publicly and he'd disturb the whole camp. So Conte's of a similar mould to Mourinho, but he's more modern. You know what you're signing up to, Daniel Levy and Paratici. You know exactly what you've brought in here. So to not have a plan going into January, and I agree with Luke, it's not about backing him in the summer. It's backing him during the whole duration. But right now is when you start. You don't wait until 6 months to when you're out of all the competitions and you're not in Europe and you can't attract the best players. You do it now. I'm not expecting us to go and spend £200 million. But I do expect us to bring in 2 or 3 very, very, very good signings that have an immediate impact, that don't need developing, that aren't project signings, like a Adama Traore. I've got nothing against the signing, but he needs work. There's work that needs to be done. We haven't got time for that. Yeah. Buy him now with the prospect of him being really good next season. I get that. But you need to buy another 2 players that are ready to go now. And if we're not going to do that, apparently Aston Villa are on the brink of signing Digne. He's a better left back than any left back at our club. So how is it Steven Gerrard and Aston Villa are attracting him, but Spurs and Conte can't get established players that have proven themselves in the Premier League? Look, maybe in the last week of the transfer window, Levy plays a blinder, as they call it. He's played a blinder. That's what they always say.
But that's the problem, though, isn't it? Sorry, it's always too late. It's always last day of the window. It's always 2 days before we end up playing our next match. Like, you need players to be signed quickly in January.
Well, you're right, because we're going to be at the Carabao Cup. We're going to lose North London Derby. And we're going to lose to Chelsea away. I'm not saying we will, by the way, but these are big games now. If we've got the signing ins by now, they can play in those games, and who knows what might happen. But it's Levy has been doing this for years, man. And I personally thought there'd be something different happening now. Let's see. Another couple of weeks, fair enough. Maybe it takes a bit of time to get these deals done, but there's no sign that we're going for anyone in particular. And like you said, Twitter's announced we don't want a striker now. But how do we not want a striker? Son's injured.
Plus Twitter announced that, and they also announced that the player who Conte said apparently he wanted to play as backup to Kane, Steven Bergwijn, is now being sold anyway. So the backup to the striker, who's not even a striker, do you know what I mean, is now being sold. So then we won't even have a backup to the backup. It's mind-blowing, if you ask me. Mind-blowing.
It just, honestly, it does blow my mind. But obviously, we've spoken about people want to get in. But I think the one man we really need to talk about is obviously Ndombele's poor attitude, I think, at the weekend. So, Luke, I'll come to you first. What do you kind of make, first of his performance, and then the attitude he had, obviously, after he got subbed?
Yeah, do you know what? It pains me to say it. Ever since he signed for us, someone in my family for Christmas bought me a shirt with his name on the back. And now it will never, ever come out of my cupboard ever again. And look, the guy has got immense talent. There is absolutely no denying it. You know, let's just look at most recently the ball. It's one moment that he can do in a match. That's it, one moment. You know, he's played an incredible ball through to Harry Kane against Liverpool, and the weight of pass, his touch. You know, it can all be incredible, but you know, you need that for more than 5 minutes. I personally don't believe he does more than 5 minutes worth of work in the 60, 70 minutes. I think I saw The Athletic today said that he's our record signing and he's only ever played 90 minutes, like a handful of times. That's our record signing that's done that. It's outrageous. And the way that that he trudged off the pitch, I saw an image today, again on Twitter, of Brian Hill and Ndombele, and how far away they were from each other. Brian Hill was probably 10, 15, 20 yards behind him, and he got off the pitch quicker than Ndombele. And then Ndombele went straight down the tunnel. You know, I think it's just outrageous. I think that's it for me with him. Like, he can go play Spain, Italy, France, wherever he likes, and he'll probably shine. He's one of those players that Spurs will lose, and he'll go on to be a great player. But it won't be for Spurs, and I think that the fans are right to boo him yesterday.
What do you want to kind of add to that, Stel? I think for me, it's just the attitude afterwards, the fact of not really giving a damn about when you're on the pitch to then, you know, not giving a damn when you're coming off the pitch to make a start. I just don't get it. I really don't.
You're going to hate me. I disagree with every single Spurs fan on this. Literally everyone. I think Spurs have completely mismanaged Ndombele. Here we go.
I'm ready for it.
If you look at the way he played at Lyon, he had fitness, he had energy. If you watch him in the Champions League when he played for them, he looked mustard, absolute top draw. He then comes to Spurs, and this is what I think. This is what I think's happened. Okay, we've signed him to play Champions League football in a Pochettino attacking style team, and Poch is manager. 3 months later, we sacked the manager we bought this player for. And then we now expect this player to go and play in a Jose Mourinho, non-attacking, low block, ultra defensive team, and we play him holding mid. So for the rest of that season, he's gone to shit. Then we bring in Ryan Mason, a kid, to then help Ndombele and the rest of them. But I'm just talking about Ndombele. We then spend 7 weeks looking for a new manager. We bring in Nuno, Jose Mark II, who also plays Ndombele holding mid. And then in comes Conte. By now, Ndombele has gone to shit, as have many other players. And then what does Conte do? Plays him holding mid, that same position. He was never that player. He's never played that position for Lyon. And we're expecting him to suddenly set the world on fire and do really well. Mentally, he's checked out. Psychologically, I don't think he likes Tottenham. I don't think he likes the way it's a manager merry-go-round. I don't think he's ever settled because it's always a different manager. And I think he's one player that's been affected by the way the football club has run the football team. If you look at that game against Liverpool, he was very, very good. Okay? But what happened against Liverpool? We played attacking football. Yeah. Good football. That's what we bought him for. But we don't play that kind of football often. We play quite defensive, pragmatic, or we focus on these attacking wing-backs under Conte. How does Ndombele fit in that system? I don't know how he's going to fit in this system unless we get brilliant attacking wing-backs that then allows that midfield trio to work more effectively. But we haven't, because our attacking wing-backs aren't great. So I think we've mismanaged Ndombele. And I think psychologically, he's just like, I couldn't give a shit what anyone thinks. I'm getting my paycheck. I don't really get much game time. When I do play, I'm always subbed. What's the point of me being here? And I think we have contributed to what has happened to Ndombele. I blame Spurs more than I blame Ndombele. And this thing about him walking off the pitch slowly and everyone booing him, it's one of those media moments that everyone jumps on, and they just use that as a kind of a weapon against him almost. Maybe a weapon's a bit harsh, but they use it as a trigger point. Right, that's it. Get rid of him. We all want him out. I get that. And if anyone disagrees with me, fine. Because 99% of fans would disagree with me on this one. I think we've screwed him up.
He plays better with space when he's got space and time on the ball. He plays better. If we watch the Liverpool game, Liverpool played an incredibly high line, which we got in behind 6, 7, 8, 9 times in that game. They did the same against Chelsea the following week. I think that he doesn't play well against and I don't really like this phrase, but low block, which we saw yesterday, and we see a lot in the Premier League now. But I think that, I'm sorry, I don't, and it's not, no, I'm not against you, just in general, but I think, and someone might think that what I'm saying is not right, but when you're paid £200,000 a week, you know, I have to turn up to my job and do my best to turn up and give a half-assed appointment. And I get, you know, he's mismanaged all the rest of it. I'm sorry, but if you don't perform in any industry of work in the world,
but Luke,
something is done about it.
Who gave him? Is it his fault? He's on $200,000 a week.
He's happy to take the money.
Of course he is. Wouldn't you? For that? My point, like that as an argument doesn't work.
Then we can't you can't criticize him for. You can't not criticize him. Sorry, for not performing when he's not performing for the money that he's earning.
So why don't we criticize other players who are on low wages when they don't play that well? The way we do Ndombele. It's because he's the big money signing. He's the superstar, expensive buy, and he's on mega wages. If he cost us 20 million and he was on 80 grand a year, this conversation wouldn't be an issue. But that's not his fault. He's got a very good agent and a very stupid club that agreed to this. Yeah,
I don't think I think he goes to any club in the Premier League apart from someone like Liverpool. I don't think he can handle it. I honestly don't think he can handle the speed and pace of the Premier League. I personally don't. France is a completely different league.
He did it in the Champions League against Man City. He did it in the Champions League against Man City over 2 legs. He was fantastic. So I think he can handle it.
I just think, obviously, I know we talk about the mental issues and all of that thing. I get that totally, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I've probably been in those situations as well. But for me, I can't not look the other way about it. And I get he's probably been mistreated because he lost his 2 best mates as well. But sadly, that's just
there was a reason behind that, though, wasn't there? Why he lost his 2 best mates, because that was part of the problem in the squad.
I just think football is sadly a very scrutinised game, and I think if you're not up to scratch or people don't, then sadly it's the way it is. And I do kind of think that, I know, like you said, Stel, he played well against City in the Champions League, but then he's not playing that level and intensity every week. I just don't think, for me, Ndombele has really ever, and I know you said there's been lots of chops and changes, I just don't think he's ever upped his game in that kind of sense. And it's probably harsh for me saying it. I mean, I've got bloody Harry Winks behind me that never really ups his game until now. But
all right, Hollie, let's do a little test now between the 3 of us, okay? Mm-hmm. When all this chopping and changing began, round about when Poch got sacked, let's start from that transfer window. We signed Ndombele, Lo Celso and Sessegnon. That was the beginning of the end for Poch. So let's include that transfer window. We've then had 4 transfer windows afterwards. We went and bought Bergwijn and Gedson on a loan. We then bought Doherty, Højbjerg, Reggie, Vinicius. Who else did we buy in that window? Joe Hart. There was one more. I'm sure there was one more. Rodon. Right? Yeah. Rodon. Then we bought in Romero, Brian Hill, Pape Sarr, Emerson and Galini, right? All them signings, who has stood out for you? And you can say, yeah.
Out of every single player.
The fact we've got to think about it answers it, right? Mm-hmm. So the point I'm trying to make here is, all of those players have not shown us what we wanted to see from any player being signed at Spurs. And I think they've all been affected by mismanagement of the transfer window, signing players and then sacking the manager we've hired them for 3 months later, not having a settled system, not having a settled squad, and chopping and changing the way we play, and every new manager coming in, right, let's give everyone a chance, right, let's go. Ndombele, for me, is paying the price, along with all of those players, of what I just tried to describe, if I described it very well. But Ndombele will get the biggest criticism because he costs so much money and because he's on such a high wage. The only ones maybe you could say, do you know what, they've done all right, is Reggie and Højbjerg. I would say them two, you could say, do you know what, they've been all right for Tottenham and they've had really good games for us. But the rest of them, like Lo Celso, we're still waiting for him to hit the ground running. Brian Hill shows little moments. Bergwijn shows little moments. Emerson, Galini, Sessegnon, again, another one. He's an enigma.
Well, I think it depends where you read, doesn't it? Because a lot of them, like Lo Celso, do get a lot of stick online. If we're going to use that, terminology. I think that a lot of people do get stick. It just depends who you read and where you're reading it. I agree that Ndombele has had an extraordinary amount of stick recently, but I don't think he's done anything to. And maybe you're right. Maybe it's mismanagement, but there must have been something the club could do. There must be something somebody could do if he wanted to, and that's the point. I've never seen him show a willingness, and to only complete a certain amount of a handful of 90 minutes since we signed him, it's outrageous.
Imagine I own Harrods and Hollie is my floor manager, okay? And I say, Hollie, what do we need to improve sales? And she says to me, we need marketing. We need a social media manager, someone that's brilliant at social media to really promote the shop floor. And I say, all right, What do you reckon? And she goes, I know this guy called Luke. He's brilliant. He's up and coming. He's young. He's showing all the right skills and tricks. And I'm like, all right. So I contact Luke. I'll call you up. Luke, how much do you want? I want 200 grand a week. I'm like, how much? And I want a signing on for, I'm like, how much? And I'm like, Hollie, this is a really expensive. And Hollie says, no. He's the one. So I go and buy him. You come in. And then 3 months later, sales are down, customer service scores are down, and we're losing customers. And I say, Hollie, what is going on? You're my manager. What? I don't understand. And I've spent all this money getting a social media manager for you, Hollie. And Hollie goes, it's not just him. We need more. That was one piece. I need another 5 pieces. I've got a decision to make. Do I go and buy those 5 pieces or do I sack Hollie? And I sack Hollie. And then I bring in John. And in comes John to replace Hollie. And John says to me, I'm not sure about this Luke guy. And I'm like, I've just spent 200 grand a week. This is my problem. This is where I get frustrated. And it's not just you, Luke, not being good at social media manager, or Hollie being a poor shop floor manager.
I've never worked in a shop in my life.
Well, listen, I'm not a very good boss because I sacked you. I should have kept you, right? But this is, and it happened again with Nuno and Jose and Mason, and now here we are with Conte again, and it's happening again. I just think the club have completely fucked this one up badly, and we're just all kind of, because we're so emotional, we're so angry. It's like, Ndombele, just get out of here, because I don't see any Spurs fan going against the manager this time. I think we all agree Conte's our guy. So we've got to channel our... Fans shouldn't boo Ndombele. They should boo up in the stands at Daniel Levy on this one, I think. But look, Luke, 99% of fans agree with you on this one, by the way, just so you know. I'm walking along the road. I know that.
Like, it is interesting though, because I never really thought of it on that kind of flip side. Like, to think that he has been through so much chopping and changing. I just think, for me personally, like you said, we've all got to back Conte, and if Conte isn't necessarily thinking that he's going to be part of this squad, then I'm thinking, okay, this man kind of knows what he's doing. But I totally get it, though. It is interesting to kind of hear the flip side. And I know earlier, so you're talking about midfielders that could score goals. And there's one man that did excite me at the weekend, and that is that man behind me, Harry Winks. So, Stel, we'll come to you first. What did you make of Harry Winks' performance?
Listen, I've always liked Harry Winks. I've always said he's a good player. I don't think he's going to be a De Bruyne or he's going to be a classic Patrick Vieira or a high quality like an Eden Hazard type, star midfielder. But I know the person that scouted him at Spurs. I know the coaches that developed him, and he came through the academy, and his strong point was an attacking midfielder type role. But he never really got that chance because when he broke into the first team at Spurs, he was doing really well. He got called up for England. But I must have said this story 100 times on everyone else's show. But then he got injured. And whilst he got injured at that same time, Christian Eriksen and Dele Alli became really, really important and top players for Spurs, scoring loads and loads of goals. So when Winks came back, we weren't going to drop Dele Alli. He was like the superstar of England at the time. And Eriksen was just our main midfielder. So the only other place you could put him is further back, but you're not going to drop Wanyama or Moussa Dembele because they were top draw as well. So he had to wait to break back in the team. The only reason he really got back in the squad is because we sold some midfielders, Dembele and Wanyama. I think everyone wants Ndombele to go, but so he ended up going into their position, which was more of a holding mid role. He's never going to be a holding mid, and even to this day, as much as I will defend Winks, anything close to our third of the pitch, that defensive area, he scares the hell out of me. He always looks like he's going to do something stupid. But further up the pitch, Winks has always been a capable player. And I think now he's getting to play more. And I think Conte has seen that. And I think Conte has told him, be more direct with your passing. Be more forward thinking. Don't be scared to push forward with the ball, Winks. I want you higher up the pitch because that's where I think you're good. And I think we're beginning to see what Winks can do. That's all it is. Listen, I'm so happy because I've always defended Winks. And again, another lonely road I've been down. But I have had a partner in crime, Hollie, because she's more Winks than me. But that's what I think.
Okay.
That's and I hope it continues. I hope this isn't just a phase and then in 2 months' time it goes back to type and egg on my face kind of thing. But he's one of our own guys. He's one of our own.
Otherwise, the bag's going to go back on his head, and I'm not really feeling that, to be honest. But Luke, I'll come to you because obviously there's less and sideways movements from Winks. It's kind of what Stel said. It's because he's playing in that more forward role. Now, do you think, like Stel said, maybe down the line it will flop, or do you think maybe that his time at Spurs could remain, or do you think we're just playing him to look good in the kind of the window at the moment?
No, I think that he wants to stay at Spurs. I think there was an opportunity last season. For him, there was talk about going on loan to a Spanish club, I can't remember if it was Valencia or someone like that. He wanted to stay at Spurs, and I like the lad. I think you can't. What can you not like about his smiley, happy face? Like there's nothing not to like, right? The only issue for me is the big issue in the midfield in general is that whole. The ball comes to you, you take a touch, you then go sideways, it then comes back to you, it then goes the other way. And that's all we ever tend to do is just push the ball sideways, and then we end up losing it. It's that negativity that I think a lot of people didn't like about Harry Winks. But, he's proved before, in games such as against Real Madrid, when he does play the ball forward and he does drive forward, when he finds a gap and he drives into it, he plays the ball. He's got a good dead ball, as we saw yesterday. I think he's a decent player. There must be something in there because he was called up to the England squad in the past. There is someone there. You just got to hope that he finds this opportunity under Antonio Conte and relishes it, which it sounds like he is doing, from Conte's quotes. Unlike certain Dele Alli, who, we must have talked about this, all of us, I reckon, 100,000 times between us, where he just doesn't seem to relish any opportunity, to me.
I agree. I think that's the thing. I think, like you said, Winks is proper taking this opportunity with two hands, basically, and is running with it. And I'm hoping he maintains that. But I think for me, also yesterday, which I say this all the time, because I think he's been this burning light, even through the bad lows at Tottenham at the moment, is Lucas Moura still. I mean, that man is so underrated by half the Spurs fan base, I think, because I can't sing his praises enough. But it seems to me it's only now that people are starting to come out and be like, actually, yeah, Lucas is the burning light in this squad.
Yeah, Before I talk about Lucas, though, I just went off camera for a minute because I got this call and I thought it was something urgent, but it wasn't urgent, but it was Tottenham related. They made it sound like it was urgent in the text, but apparently we've just rejected a £15 million bid from Ajax for Steven Bergwijn, and Ajax have said that they're confident a deal will be done by the end of the window. So,
Oh wow.
maybe that is the money to buy Dama Traore. Maybe that's kind of the like for like. Although, I don't know. Well, listen, we'll chat about that later. It's your show. You direct it. Mora. Yeah, listen, Mora. He's always been good when he plays more in the when he's been more in that attacking mid role behind the strikers. I don't like him out wide. He's not a winger. He's not someone that's going to go take on a play and put a good cross in. He's someone that needs to drive towards the goal. And everyone will always go back to that Ajax game because that was his greatest moment for us, that hat-trick that got us to the Champions League final. But everything was down the middle with him in that game. And when he does play more central in a forward position, he's a good player. And again, look at the goal he scored yesterday. He's pressed. Also, he's one of the best pressers in our team. Let's mention that as well.
Probably one of the only people that does press.
Yeah. No, you're right, because Harry Kane don't do it. I agree. So he's pressed the ball, he's won the ball, and then look, straight down the middle towards goal. And he's got the composure and the skill to go around the goalie and tap it in. So I've always liked Mora, and I've always said that he needs to be in that forward central role, but not a striker. I think, again, in the Champions League semi-final away at Man City, him and Son were kind of in a front two almost.
Yeah.
And he won the ball, and he's the one again that drove and played that pass to the side, and Son scored. So Mora's always been a good player. I don't know if he's a wow player, but he's definitely got to be in the squad. He's not a player I'd look to sell. He can make an impact, and he has got a goal in him. The only negative I'd say with him is sometimes too many touches and he doesn't release the ball quickly enough, and it's just a bit of a Theo Walcott moment where you just think, mate, just you are allowed to lay it off for a simple pass. You can do that, you know. But other than that, he's a good player for Tottenham, and I think as well, I think he likes being at Tottenham. I think he likes wearing the Spurs shirt. You know, he's never ever said anything but good stuff about us. So yeah, I like Mora.
I like him too. Now I've seen Matty raid in my screen, and I mean, my Twitch days were far behind me now, but I do know what a raid is. So thank you, Matt Hayes, for coming in with that. I do really appreciate it. So hello everyone. But also coming to you, Luke, because I know you are like the biggest Lucas Moura advocate. So how are you kind of feeling now that people are waking up and seeing that, you know, Lucas Moura's, he has got the business apart from now that he's actually like playing more central, I think, as well is brilliant.
I'm not afraid to say I'm a bit of a Lucas fanboy. Look, I'd seen him play a lot prior to him coming to Spurs, and you know, he played at a very high level before he came to Tottenham, and he had a big reputation behind him. I think that he's been, and I don't know why really, like people only ever seem to remember, like, you know, that hat trick that he happened to score in the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? And because it didn't result in us winning anything, it never really gets remembered as, you know, as much as other things. But I think that, look, Stel hit the nail on the head. He always shows passion. He always shows what it means to play for Spurs. And, you know, even on things on social media that you see and other things, he always tries to help integrate other players into the club, into the squad. And, you know, I remember when Vinicius was here, he was trying to help him with his English. I know that Emerson doesn't speak great English and he's helping him. So there's lots, you know, there's lots there that people don't tend to see. And yeah, of course, sometimes he overruns the ball. Sometimes he makes, you know, too many touches. Everybody is, you know, is capable of doing that now and again. But he always seems to be the one, like yesterday. He grabbed the shirt, he put it on, and he stepped up. You know, just winning that ball back high up the pitch. You know, I was sure he was going to square it to Kane, but he didn't. He took the composure around the keeper and he scored. The other thing that people don't realise about Lucas Moura is how high he can jump. Mm-hmm. Like, he's incredible in the air for his size. And, yeah, I think he's been disrespected a lot in a Spurs shirt. to now only just be recognised as a quality Spurs player. Yes, is he going to be the player that scores 20 goals a season, wins us the league? Probably not. Could he be an integral cog in that system? Yes, he can. I think Stel's right. Behind the striker, he's better.
And that's the thing, because I think for me as well, when he used to play out wide, and I know Stel said he doesn't play there, he just used to run into players, didn't he? Whereas now in the middle, he hasn't got as much time as he had outside, and he has to release that ball quicker. So yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, throughout all the managers we've had, he's been the one consistent one, I feel, and that does make me feel a lot happy. Because like you say, I think that a lot of people are finally waking up to see that Lucas Moura, like you said, Luke, is probably a very good cog in the system that we need to kind of maintain. And again, Matt, thank you very much for sending people this way. Like I said, my Twitch days are long gone, but I know what the raid is, so thank you, mate Hayes. Now we're going to wrap up that Morecambe game. I know we've got Brighton in the next fixture, but we have got another cup game coming up, and that is obviously the return leg.
Do we have to?
I know, I'm not really feeling it, to be honest, but you know, it is what it is. It's good therapy to get it out. But we do play obviously Chelsea on Wednesday, currently losing 2-0, which is fabulous. But Stel, I'll come to you now. I know you're the tactics man. So I'm going to come to you and say, what on earth do we need to do to be able to turn this tie around?
Attack Chelsea. Go at them. Don't sit back. Don't play free in the holding mid role. Don't play a right back in the left back role. Don't play free players across the top when you haven't got enough midfielders to get the ball to them. And dominate the midfield. I'd go 4 at the back, 5 in the middle, 1 up top, or 3-5-2, whatever you want. But this thought of only having 2 in the middle against Chelsea that played with 3, and then Hakim Ziyech out wide, every time he got it, he inverted inwards. So they effectively had 4 in the middle against our 2, and then we're wondering, why can't we get on the ball? Why can't we get the ball to Kane, Son, and more? They absolutely dicked on us in that midfield. They bossed the game. And let's not forget, they're a better team than us. They've got better players. They play a much better style of football than us. They're 3rd in the league. They're in the Champions League. They're in the Carabao Cup semi-final. They're a top side. Hate them as much as we do. They're a good team. And they've spent a lot of money on a lot of top players. Not all of them have done well, but quite a few are doing well. So you've got to play your strongest team against Chelsea. This Doherty business is a madness. Absolute madness. You know,
honestly, that name Doherty drives me up the wall. Like, I don't understand it. And like you said, Chelsea didn't really have to do anything in that first leg because we literally gifted them the goals anyway. I mean, Luke, what do you honestly make of? I know we spoke about Tanganga a little bit, and I don't like hating on Tanganga because, like we said, when he played Liverpool those many moons ago, he was class. I just don't know what went through his head against Chelsea. What do you think?
I think he made a mistake early doors. Right, he made a sloppy pass out to Emerson, and that was the first one, right? That was the first error. Once that happens, a player like him, his age, and the lack of experience, I think his head went a little bit. Again, you know, the second one, it's a freak accident. I heard lots of chat between who was on Sky Sports, Michael Dawson and Ashley Cole. Ashley Cole saying he chest it down and clear the ball. Bullshit. Sorry. And I never know if this is a family show or not. So anyway.
Nah, just go for it.
And then Michael
Hollie,
Dawson
family
saying,
show.
saying head it clear. So I think that it's a freak accident that happens, you know, ricochets off Ben Davis, ends up in the back of the net. What do we need to do? Well, first of all, I was going to ask this question, actually. I was really upset with the front 3 in how narrow they'd set out. Seems though how Chelsea do play with wing-backs as well. The front 2 of Son and Moura were playing really narrow, in my opinion, in that final third. Every time they cleared it from the back, they were 2-on-1 against Emerson and Doherty.
That's how they're supposed to play. The front 3 is supposed to be narrow. They're not supposed to be out wide.
But then when you get it done every single time, it was obvious from
done where,
you know, well, done by their wing backs who was playing Alonso and
yeah, that's because the holding mids weren't going out wide to put a protective front in front of our wing back. Because the holding mids were being pulled out of shape because Chelsea had 4 midfielders. So
yeah.
When teams come down the wing, and whether it's a counter attack or because that's the space they found. You want your holding mid to go out wide, to stop them first, and then the other holding mid shifts across to the middle. But they couldn't always make that left and right shift across to stop the wing backs of Chelsea because there was so many midfielders. There was other midfielders they were having to deal with, and they're being pulled out of shape.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean about you can't play Chelsea and go 2 midfielders up against 4. It was nuts. And they just dominated us. We were getting pulled out of shape. That's how they found all the space. Did you see that moment where it was ridiculous, where the ball got to Timo Werner on the penalty spot unmarked? And thank God he's absolutely useless and he tried to chip Lloris. But that all comes from the midfield losing complete control of the game. And then our defence don't know what to do, so they get split. And that was insane. Like that is like under 8s football, that.
It was
leave the man up top. Leave the man up top. Don't worry about offside and just kick it to him. That's what it was like.
But let's not take it away from Ziyech's pass for that. That was incredible.
He's a good player.
That non-assist now it will forever be forgotten. But a hell of a ball to Timo
Honestly,
Werner, who couldn't finish his dinner.
If Timo Werner scored that, the remote was going through the telly. Honestly, there was no way I was witnessing Timo Werner scoring against us. No way in hell. But no, it'd be like you say, we've really got to go to town on them, I think, because like you said, there's no way we can set up like that again. I mean, Stel, I know you're the coach. I want to come to you. I know you've already kind of said the kind of formation we need to play and that we need to attack them. Who's kind of is your midfield? Who is the main man, Winksy, in there, or are you gonna drop him out for this one?
I would go, honestly, Hollie. If I was going to this game, assuming Dyer's back, because if Dyer's not back, then I wouldn't go to a back 3. But let's say Dyer is back, I'd go to a back 3. And I'd just stick to what has worked for us up until now. So Davies, Dyer, Sanchez. It's worked. They've got an understanding. They communicate. And then I'd play the best wing backs I've got. Whether that's Reggie and Emerson or Hill and Reggie, whatever it is. Play them. One holding mid, because we're 2-0 down. I played one holding mid and I drop Højbjerg and I just play Skip. Because I think Skip brings more to Spurs. And I play 2 attacking mids. Whether it's Mora and Lo Celso or it's going to have to be Mora and Lo Celso. We've got no one else, have we? Attacking mid role. Bergwijn maybe. I don't know. Can Bergwijn go into the middle? And then I'd play with one striker, Harry Kane. So I've got my 3 in the middle. I've got 2 wide, so that's 5 in the middle. I've got 1 up top, and I just say, right, go at them. Just go at them. And if we win it, we win it. If not, at least we go down fighting. But anything else, I think we're just going to invite Chelsea to come and, again, dominate us at our home ground. But if Dyer's not fit, I would not go to a back 3 because I don't think they can do it. I can't believe I'm saying it. We depend on Dyer for a back 3. It's crazy that I'm saying this. But if he's not in that back 3, we don't look too great.
It's mad how times have changed, isn't it? The fact that we are seriously saying Dyer is the glue to that back 3 now. It's a madness. I mean, Luke, what are you kind of hoping? Are you kind of hoping for the same kind of thing? I know we all want to go for attack because, like you said, the best form of defence is attack. We haven't really seemed to be able to kind of fathom that at the moment. But how are you feeling? Is that the kind of formation players you want to see in that formation as well?
Oh, sorry, guys. My apologies. Faz is right. I did miss out a player. He's right. Beg your pardon, Faz. I'd play another one up top. Play 2 up top. Sorry, Faz. He's right. Well done for calling me out.
I think now what I think we should do and what will probably end up happening will again be down to the players' attitude. But they have to go and attack. And they have to go and say, as Stel said, do you know what? Whatever happens, happens. But we have to press them hard. We have to win the ball back. And we have to attack. Because if we go out to one of these dreary performances, a 0-0 draw or lose 1-0 and show no effort, no passion, no determination, and we go out, what is the point? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
I need that same attitude as when we were losing to Ajax. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to always bring that up, but that's one that always springs to mind, you know, where we need to score. And the players knew they had to push and they had to fight. The worst thing for me, and I must have said it 50 times, I don't care that much if we lose, which sounds stupid, right? but if we lose fighting. But if we lose with no effort, no passion, and a boring ass performance, then I just can't stand it being a Spurs fan when that happens. And we seem to, probably not the only club that does it, but we seem to do it and a lot, and it does my head in.
It does infuriate me. Just play with. I mean,
Yeah.
Graham would say it all the time. He'd go through walls, to wear the Tottenham shirt. And I don't think many players. Okay, we're seeing a few now under Conte, the likes of my man Harry Winks, but we don't see many players that are willing to do that. And I think Wednesday's the day they really need to show that.
It's a chance for the Spurs players to get to a one-game shootout in a cup final with Antonio Conte as your manager. They didn't get that under Jose Mourinho. As much as people didn't like Jose Mourinho in a one-game shootout at that time, he was your man that could probably unlock what he needs to unlock. So they didn't get that, and I think they deserve. Well, maybe they don't deserve it, but I would like to see what they could do in a one-game winner-takes-all match. But whether they will show that, I just don't know.
Do you know the positive, if there is one, is that we are still in the tie. If we score first, it really is massively game on. And the home crowd will be so up for it. Wednesday night at the Lane. Come on, it's going to be fire. But the worst thing that could possibly happen is the fans are cheering. There's a big roar at kickoff. Yeah. Everyone's charged up for it. And first 10 minutes, Chelsea score, it's done. It will just kill that. The whole game will be dead. So if we don't concede to them early and we score a goal, and we make it 2-1, I tell you what, it could be a cracker. It could be. But
I agree with you. I think that 10 minutes is key. If we just keep the ball and pass the ball slow and backwards, it's just going to kill the atmosphere as well, isn't it?
We need everything to go for us. Dodgy refereeing decisions, VAR, ascending up. We just need it all to just drop for us, don't we?
We do.
A last minute disallowed goal again. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Exactly. Spot on.
Oh dear. I mean, I don't actually know because obviously I'm really confused with the away goal system. Obviously they scrapped it in Europe, but does anybody know if that's
they scrapped it?
They scrapped it here as well.
Okay,
I also think it's straight to penalties as well.
Straight to pens.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, hopefully, I mean, I won't go around for score predictions because I don't like tempting fate, as I am a jinxer at most things when I give score predictions. Unless you two want to give your score predictions, and then feel happy when you get it right. It's up to you guys. Stel, you feeling it?
I'm like you. Listen, I'll give you one, but I always get them wrong.
There's not many you can go for, is there? Unless you go for a Spurs loss.
Do you know what? I've just got this feeling it's going to go to penalties, but I don't know if we're going to win. Maybe Chelsea will win it and get payback because we knocked them out on penalties last year in this cup. Lamella didn't he? Lamella scored in the 86th minute or something and took it to penalties. Yeah. But I've just got this feeling it's going to penalties. And listen, I'll take that because at the moment we're going out, so I'll probably take that. But I don't know. I've just got penalties on. I've just got that vibe. Let's see. I don't know.
I was going to say
3-1 to Spurs and penalties. That'd be mental.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go for. 3-1.
Alexander's not feeling too happy. If we go to pens, I mean, I'm glad I'm not going. Otherwise, I won't get home until God knows what time. But go on, are you going for the same as well, Luke?
Yeah, that was before you said that. That's what was in my head. 3-1.
Oh,
I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet.
No way.
Otherwise, I was going to go 2-0.
No. Yeah, I don't. It's whether we can score. It's whether we can score enough goals. That's the problem because we don't really score a lot of goals in games. We score, but when you were at home, there's a different vibe at home. We're different at home. There's something there. There's a better attitude of we can still get the result. There is a better attitude about us at home. That's why I'm thinking maybe we can score 3 then. I don't know, Luke. You got me thinking now. 3-1, 2-0. Yeah.
Well, fingers crossed we are still in the cup, and obviously we have got Arsenal as well. I won't do a game review for that as well because it's too much for my brain to fathom, but we have got them as well on Sunday, so we're up for a let's hope a good week, shall we?
Could be one hell of a week, couldn't it? Or it could be a very ahead in the stands, ostrich style.
I'll need a lot of gin otherwise come Monday next week if that's the case. But I want to say a big thank you to both of you. Stel, where can everybody kind of find you doing your thing? Let everybody know.
In 30 minutes' time, you can all come and raid my show. 8:30 p.m. tonight, Tottenham Away. That's the name of the YouTube channel. Come over. We're going to be covering everything pretty much that we've been covering now. Probably going to talk about transfers a bit more. So yeah, 8:30 tonight, Tottenham Away. And make sure you like, subscribe, follow Hollie on everything. Socials, YouTube, and everyone get a wink star and call it Hollie.
I was going to say,
Call it Hollie.
I was going to say, yeah, if you want to see Winks content, make sure you subscribe. But no, thank you, Stel. I really appreciate you coming on, and I'll make sure I catch up on your show later as well. And Luke, where can everybody find you doing your thing as well?
Yeah, so just reiterate what Stel said. Make sure you subscribe and like Hollie's channel on all social media platforms. I could probably reveal them all. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. I'm sure you're somewhere else as well. But make sure you definitely do, because I love coming on this show. And it's always great fun. And obviously make sure you go on Stel stream tonight, 8:30 on Tottenham Away. It would be great to have everybody pass straight over. But if you liked anything that I've said or disliked everything that I've said, you can always check me out on Rivalry Aside TV. We've got 3 hosts at the moment, so we do Liverpool, Arsenal, and Spurs content. So I'll be on tomorrow night, 6:30. Hopefully, a certain Hollie Agenbar will be on, unless she's forgotten. So Hollie will be on tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Rivalry Aside TV on Twitter and YouTube.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Can I ask you a quick question before we go?
Go for it.
If we don't get... No, actually no. Let me reword this. What do you think it will take for us to do this window to stop Conte from walking away in February? Or do you think we can get away with doing nothing? Like, what's your feeling on it? Because this is a lot of Spurs fans are kind of talking about this at the moment. I just want to just see where everyone's kind of where your head's at with it.
I think we need at least 2 players in. I think 2 that he wants.
2 that he wants.
I mean, the rumours coming out that we're not getting a striker, but I personally think we need a striker. And I'm hoping he's echoed that as well. And I just think someone that's going to be creative in the middle, because I know Winks is coming on, and I know I don't stop talking about him, but we know he's not to the standard that we need the midfield to be, if that makes sense. I'm probably backtracking now, but I just think 2 players need to come in to keep him happy. I don't know about you, Luke.
Yeah, I think it would be odd of him to leave, after a January transfer window, without anything. I can't see us surely not getting anybody again. Like, I can't go through that anymore. But I think the business that we need to do is we need, one thing I'm hopeful for in Paratici is that we will at least get some traction made with. One thing we forget about is obviously the rule for non UK players, where we can sign them on a pre-contract in January. There's some work that needs to be done because there's some seriously good signings that can be made. Whether the key in this window will be whether we go, do you know what, we'll pay 10 million up front and get you now, then wait till the summer. Because the only issue with getting people on pre-contracts now is the plan still the same plan in the summer as it is right now? It would be much better to get them in right now. But I think we desperately need 2 minimum. I think one of the key areas is a left-footed centre-back. I think we definitely need. And 100% we need a backup striker.
How many years have we been saying that?
That's minimum. Yeah, but what's crazy is Fernando Llorente was on a free transfer in the summer, and no one decided, do you know what? He's done a job for us before. Why can't he do another job? But and I know that's just patching up leaking holes with material that doesn't patch up leaking holes, but it at least holds the water out for a few more minutes.
I'm with you. Stel, what's your kind of then? You asked the question, what's your kind? I'm going to flip it back on you. Uno, reverse it. What's your kind of thoughts on it?
Do you know what? I really don't know. I've got this bad feeling that he'll walk, but not now. He'll walk in the summer because we're not going to properly back him in the summer. I think he'll stay for now, regardless. I do think we'll buy 1 or 2. I think he'll hang about, but if we don't get top 4, which I don't think we will unless we buy some really good players now, I think we'll fall short. Then I think it just causes more problems in the summer. Like, are we going to spend money if we're not in the Champions League? Are we going to attract the players Conte wants if we're not in the Champions League? I just see problems this summer. Unless if we get 2 or 3 now, really good players, like really good, I think he'll get us top 4. I think Conte will get us top 4, and then it would set us up for a really good summer. But if we don't, it all depends on top 4 for me. I think if we don't get top 4, I don't think he'll be here next season.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if we don't get top 4 because he's not backed, then he will walk at the end of his contract. If we don't get top 4 because he's backed, do you know what I mean? Then I think he stays. But I think you're right. I think that it's that this is the best opportunity we've had for a few seasons to get into the top 4, without a doubt. I think it's there to be taken, and one of the teams, not mentioning one of the names, but has the opportunity to say this is ours for the taking and take it. Because
they're not beating us on Sunday, by the way. They're not beating us on Sunday. I'm telling you. I think they're better than us. I think Arsenal are better than Spurs in so many ways right now. I really do. And you shouldn't say it as a Spurs fan, but I just think they're so much better than us. But this Sunday, they're not coming and taking 3 points. They're going to have to bust a gut to take 3 points off us Sunday. It might be a draw, maybe, but they're not taking 3 points off us.
I'll say, I'm going to this one.
Clip this, colleague.
Clip it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to this one, so if it all goes tits up, you can all blame me. But
we're getting drunk together then.
Oh no, I'm gonna make sure I don't drive for that one. I'm gonna get the train all the way. But no, like I say, it is an interesting question. I mean, we're all hoping that he does get backed, but we all know that Levy and Enoch are ones that like to be reactive rather than proactive. So we'll have to just sit this one out like we normally do. But hopefully, we will be fine. But like I say, we've got to get through this cup game on Wednesday, and then we have Arsenal at home. So fingers crossed we can do the business. But like I say, I want to say thank you to everyone in the comments. Like I said, thank you, Matt Hayes, for switching the raid over. If you are new, please make sure you subscribe, like, share, all the fun business, so you never miss an episode like this, live every Monday from 7 p.m. without fail, hopefully, unless I'm too hungover for my Spurs game on the Sunday. But again, I want to thank my 2 guests. Thank you very much. And like I say, until next time, come on, you Spurs.
Come on.